And now we're joined by Mike Cole, who has our lock and upset. And Mike, something to keep in mind for this week is there are 6 different teams on bye. So if you're making your picks, it gets a little harder. First off, who's your lock?
Yeah, it was kind of tough to figure out a lock and an upset this week. This point spread's real close, real small point spreads across the board. But my lock this week, I'm waiting for Monday night, and I got burned last week by taking the Vikings. So what am I doing? I'm going right back to that well this week. I'm taking the Vikings to cover a 5.5 point spread against Chicago on Monday night. I just look at these two teams. It's clearly a much better matchup for Minnesota than Philadelphia was. The Bears don't get after the quarterback nearly as much as the Eagles did. And I just think that Minnesota defense is way too much for Chicago to handle. Even in the game being in Chicago, Jay Cutler's back. You never know what you're going to get with him. He's probably going to turn the ball over once or twice, and that's where Minnesota is really going to take advantage. So I like them to win that game going away.
Well, as you mentioned, it is a hard week to pick who's going to win, so a lot of upsets probably happening. Who's your upset for the week?
Yeah, this is a smaller scale upset, but I like the Arizona Cardinals to go on the road and actually outright upset the Carolina Panthers in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship. And these two teams really have gone in a nosedive since that NFC Championship game. But I just think that the Cardinals still have a better chance of rebounding. They're probably going to be a little bit upset after that 6-6 tie. That was just a horrible display of football on Sunday night. They're going to want to get back on the right track, and they got a nice place to land. Even though it's a tough place to go across the country and play that early game, especially after an overtime game. But that Carolina defense is just so bad. I think that's going to be what kind of gets Arizona's offense jump-started. And I still think that Cardinals defense, we still haven't seen the best football of them. They're going to keep getting better, and I think this is a good spot for them.
Okay, well, good points on both of those ends. And if you have questions about a team specifically, Mike has the answers in his podcast, The Spread, so make sure to check that out.